Okay, interesting idea. For Mars, this is kind of fun. Okay. Most of the time, space cowboy stuff is kind of like ridiculous, right? So I gave NASA a mission too. This is kind of funny because it's actually viable though. What would happen if you threw a different ambient temperature on a planet and just left it there? Basic example, okay? You don't have to do anything special on this experiment. Nothing. Okay? When you have a lens, okay? These little lenses, right? Lenses, bro. Lenses, okay? When these lenses, okay, when they magnify things, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. If these things magnify or shrink things, I'm gonna give a challenge to NASA. This is kind of funny. Take a convex lens like a magnifying glass, put steel rod posts all the way around it, okay, and land it on the surface of Mars. That's it. Take the same gigantic, like a 37-foot convex lens. Okay. Here's the experiment. Out there in the depths of space, it's farther from the sun. It doesn't get the heat on the planet. So the weird part is if you make a convex lens that's going to magnify sunlight, which is not native to a planet, if it's wrapped in steel bars, if it lands on the planet, it takes whatever solar radiation is on there and cooks the shit below it infinitely. So regardless of the planet or anything around it, what you're doing there, which is kind of unusual, is you're creating one little spot where the temperature is hot in the middle of nowhere. Infinitely, though. That's the crazy part. So you're starting a chemical reaction. Solar panels, like convex lenses from TV screens, old production DLPs, you can bend them, leave them there for a couple hours, and they literally liquefy stone at 24,000 degrees. Okay? So a kind of cool experiment to a frozen planet. Simple idea. All you have to do is build a gigantic fucking lens. Be able to launch it in space, okay? Aim it at Mars. And this landing is pretty simple, okay? When it falls into the atmosphere, the only thing you have is one side of it deploys a gigantic parachute. And that's it. So if the lens falls and touches, you're good. And if the lens falls and touches and breaks, you're fucked. But I thought it would be one of the cheapest space experiments in history. All it is just get it up in the atmosphere on a rocket, which is not easy. But you can pull the lens sideways through the atmosphere on a rocket, and it's still aerodynamic. So if you mounted it to the side of a rocket, liquid oxygen, you could get it out of the atmosphere and aimed correctly. And it's still like a giant magnifying glass. And once it's out there, one half of it's got a parachute deployment. Once it enters the atmosphere of Mars and starts falling, you hit one button and it deploys the parachute. And hopefully it's a big enough parachute with the atmosphere to drop the lens. Once the lens is in place, you're heating up an ambient planet infinitely. It may not be much. It may not be by much. But that's something that the entire planet doesn't have for a heat source. Just an idea. Tangy Productions. But that's cheap space exploration. I mean, you could try the moon, see what it does. but that's basically putting a heat source that's not there and seeing if you can create any type of atmosphere on an ambient planet 8 months away in space, just for the fuck of it. It's not the most expensive thing. It's just something to do. So I'm putting that out there for the college kids. Okay? Tangy Productions.